So, a guy from Jerusalem, many years later,
a kid, yeah,
falls in love with the sea, and later on starts an MGA for boats.
for recreational boating. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, now
a long voyage.
Mm-hmm. So,
Pun intended.
tell us a little bit about yourself and explain that. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm Amit Nisenbaum. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of Ahoy Insurance, which is indeed an MGA focused on, or digital MGA focused on recreational boating, which is everything and anything between jet skis and mega yachts. Um, the reason that you asked me, or that you hinted to my history, is that indeed I'm Israeli born, even though I spent 19 years in the US. I was born in Jerusalem that has no seashore, but joined the Israeli Navy when I was 18 and spent formative 6 years in the Navy, becoming a naval officer and an instructor in the Israeli Naval Academy, where I made lifelong friends, where I believe my character has been formed. And once leaving the Navy after 6 years, went on my high-tech voyage, studied in the Israeli Technion, the Israeli MIT, for a computer science and industrial engineering degree. Paid my dues at the Israeli high-tech engineering ranks, leading or trenches, leading engineering departments, product, and then decided to move to the business side and went to pursue my MBA at Cornell with focus on entrepreneurship and private equity. Fast forward 19 years, where 5 years out of those were in Boston, doing management consulting for the Boston Consulting Group, BCG, and then moving to the Silicon Valley. I came back to Israel and I reconnected with my buddies from the Navy. And while I was, excuse my French, potzing around with all of this business stuff, high-end corporate America business stuff and entrepreneurship, they started and grew a very successful yacht dealership out of Israel, but with lots of business in Europe. And we decided to do something together that will marry those two passions of mine and them, the sea, sailing, boating, as well as entrepreneurship. And that's the genesis of Ahoy.
You started MGA. How long have you been in business?
So Ahoy was incorporated in May 2021. So we've been around for just a little bit more than a year. And within that year, we've accomplished quite a lot. We're now actually selling our insurance product in the US, in 7 states, and growing.
Mm-hmm.
We have a team in Israel, which is more about technology and IT product and innovation from that perspective. And we have the insurance team in Israel, led by the one and only Kenan Hertz.
Yeah. So he's based in Brooklyn. So he's your US based.
Yes.
Yeah. But, okay.
Well, he leads the US team, the go-to-market team. He's our chief insurance officer. Yes.
So there is the core in Israel. Then you have, of course, an office here in the US. 7 states, less than a year. What are you covering? And how come an MGA, not another agency? Because these products are already there. There is someone who's been writing all kinds of recreational boating and sailing products.
Yeah, it's almost like you would have asked, I don't know, Hippo or Lemonade or Metro Mile or Root or Kin. The same question, 8 years ago? Well, not too many people know that insurance was invented in the maritime space. The Lloyd's syndicate is the first insurance construct made by boaters. But I'm digressing. Of course, the recreational boating insurance exists. There are incumbents, but we're the only new age monoline player focused only on recreational boating, doing it digitally end to end. Plus, not only providing an insurance product that is differentiated from the other products, but also providing technology for risk mitigation. So what's really important for us is not to be just a financial hedge or a financial tool that will pay you when something happens. We are boaters, and we've built Ahoy as a solution for boaters by boaters, which through the business model is insurance. And yes, we will pay the claim, justified claims if those happen, but we have a stack of technologies that help us help our insured, if you may say, teammates to not to get in trouble at all.
So instead of policyholders, do you call them mates, or is that too early for this very
Well,
bad sense of humor?
there are policy holders. We sell policies. That's the manifestation of what we're selling. We're selling insurance, but as I said before, they're insured, and we would like to call them teammates or crewmates.
Crewman, that's actually cool. Dear policyholder, dear crewman, welcome on board. This is your insurance policy.
Crewmate. We're very
Crewmate.
British.
Yeah, I said crewmate. I said crewmate. I actually shortened it to mate. I'm recording this. We can check it later, which is fine. But you see, I'm throwing here softballs, just everything so you can knock them out. And, we are getting...
I'm trying. How am I doing so far?
Amazing. There is an improvement, from me asking a question and you are already providing all the answer to this, to the next 5 follow-up question to answering the specific question. It's amazing. I love it. We are getting there. So, started Ahoy. You're selling recreational. You already defined what's differentiate you against the current incumbents. Where are you standing in terms of selling? If you can share numbers, you said that you're operating in 7 states. Any plans to introduce? So, okay, yes. Okay, great. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a little bit static here. So I think you asked about where are we commercially. So bear in mind that we started selling just about a month ago. We're doing quite well. I'm not at liberty to disclose numbers per se, but I can tell you that for instance, our conversion rates are very, very high, above industry standards. Our return on investment in terms of advertising, etc., is very good. But I think not less importantly is the fact that we're not only about the top line. And I don't know if you had the chance to read the shameless pitch here, but
go for
to
it.
read my Forbes op-ed about the age of InsurTech 2.0 versus 1.0. I truly believe that the new successful insurtechs, would it be MGAs or would it be full stack carriers that will be created, will put a prime on sustainable underwriting and on not only top line growth, but the quality of the underwriting and of their portfolio, and we're getting very, very high remarks from our capacity partners, reinsurers, on the job that we're doing as related to that. Well, claims, I don't want to think about claims as being annoying. I want to think about how can we help our, again, crewmates or ensure they not get to the situation that they have a claim. But of course, everybody would like 100%, well, actually 0% loss ratio.
How did you reach I would call it the attitude or the spirit of prevention and not even maintenance, they are prevention or reduction of risk by prevention of accidents and stuff like that. And
proactive insurance or
Mhm.
preventative insurance. There are two sides to the answer. The first answer, the first side is related to my story about reconnecting with my friends from the Israeli Navy. When I reconnected with them, they showed me a patent that they have, not a patent pending, not a patent application, but actual patent on around technology, software technology, and algorithms to alert about a pending reefing risk. Reefing meaning a risk of hitting a reef
Mm.
or risk of grounding, hitting ground. Unless you want to, I won't get into the nitty gritty details of why this is so complicated. But we were looking for ways to commercialize that IP, and we looked at many different things. And then that actually connected or kind of brought me to the second part of the answer, which was I would like to think that Asaf Vand is a good friend, or at least that I'm a good friend of his. He's for sure a good friend of mine. We know each other from our Boston days and then the Silicon Valley. And I had the privilege of watching Hippo very, very closely from the very early on. And I think that his approach to preventative or proactive insurance is superb. And I said, well, we can do that in a domain that we really understand. Understand that, and that's basically those are the two things that brought it all together.
How can you talk a little bit more about the patent and your mechanism to make your crewmates, your insureds, safer or risky less, and at the same time still do whatever they need to do and feel free?
Well, I think it goes to the state of mind. We will never tell someone what not to do, or force them not to do something, or force them to do something. But we're there enabling them. So would it be an alert at a very timely manner about such a risk as I described to you
Mm-hmm.
before? Or could it be an alert that we send them where their boat is docked at the marina, and the bilge pump, for those that are not mariners, bilge is kind of like the bottom of the boat where a bilge pump gets stuck or burnt and water starts to accumulate, and their beloved sailboat is in the marina accumulating water, and will till now nobody would have alerted them at home that something is happening. So those kind of things, I don't see how anything bad can come out of it. They're all at the discretion of they're all passive in terms of not requiring anybody to do anything in order, for instance, to lower the premium or to do anything, but they're providing great information and insights and even recommendations to the insureds, to the teammates.
I love that you're tackling something from your passion. You have a team
Mm-hmm.
that been in the know the sea, love the sea, and you're doing that in insurance. And at the same time, one of the biggest challenges that, especially when you're dealing with VCs, is that they go like, yeah, is there enough market, right? Because I don't know, I'm not familiar with your product. So how big is your niche? And was it easy to get funding for it? And is that like now the trend? Actually, there are a few questions here. Is that now a trend to focus on niche products?
Maybe I will start from the last
Sure.
question. Yes, it's a niche. Recreational boating insurance is a niche, the same way that you can say pet insurance is a niche, or some other such place. A niche has, for some people, or maybe even for most people, a bad connotation, which is it's small or it's boring, or but actually, I think that in insurance, and in entrepreneurship in general, it presents more opportunities than challenges. especially in insurance, because insurance, as you know very well, going back to the theme of quality underwriting, in order to do things right, to assess risk right, to manage risk right, one needs to understand the domain. And I don't think that there are too many people or teams like ours that are multidisciplinary and are from one end have a very strong fundamentals in boating and sailing, and understanding the how does it work and then what are the risks and how those could be mitigated, coupled with very experienced technologists. Yes, we're from Israel, so this is the startup nation, but also coupled with very, very seasoned insurance talent, such as Kenan Hertz that I mentioned at the beginning. So if you identify a niche that is large enough, and this is large enough, I can tell you, there people are arguing, is it $5 billion opportunity, $25 billion opportunity? This is more or less the range of analysis. If you have the competitive advantage of that experience, and you know how to do the work much better than others, and you focused only on that, you can get an unparalleled market share grab from it, and especially because it's in this case it's a niche that has been neglected for many years. That the insurance product has not been reimagined, that technology in order to reduce risk has not been introduced. So maybe the pie is smaller, but the opportunity is not less small.
What is
And the unit economics are great. But I won't tell you that because others might hear that and decide to jump in.
what's the size of your small pie?
So conservatively, it's estimated in $5 billion in terms of gross written premiums, about 2/3 of that in the US. The range, there are people that there are analyses that show that it's as large as 25, but even 5 is large enough.
So 2/3 in the US, usually the focus, and you said that you're already licensed in 7 states. So I assume that for now, the
Yes.
focus is in the US, and later on looking into Europe and and as we progress, I assume reaching the untapped markets of Asia, Africa, Latam, and all of these beauties.
Yeah, you know, two-thirds are in the US. Will be here and be focused on the US for a long while. There's a lot of good stuff to do here.
So how do
Europe will be next, but it will take time.
It's all about the risk and how you get it and how you grow it, and especially at this point at the company's age, it's not the combined ratio, or the loss ratio. It's more about the cost of customer acquisition. How do you market? I don't see you as a guy that take money from investors and give it to Google. How do you spread the word about Ahoy?
Well, our distribution strategy is multi-pronged. It's, yes, we do direct-to-consumer digital. I don't give it to Google. I pay to Google with the expectation to get a great return. And of course, mastering PPC, digital performance marketing is an art, and we're doing quite well in that. But that's not our only channel to market. Actually, I would say it's not even our main channel to market. You have to do that in order to also create brand awareness, etc. We are very focused on independent insurance agents. In fact, just recently we launched a partnership with First Connect, which I'm sure that you know, the sub-producer platform, and we got great traction with their sub-producers. We have independent insurance agents that have coupled with us directly, If any either PNC or specialized recreational marine insurance agent hears this podcast and is interested in getting in touch, the email is very, very simple, amit@ahoy.insure, and we would welcome the partnership. So that's the second prong. And the third prong, which is more long term to develop, is embedded. We started creating relationships with multiple boat manufacturers, boat dealers, financing organizations, because many of the boats are being financed, and of course, when they get financed, they need insurance in order to sell the insurance at the point of sale of either the boat or the financing of the boat, etc. So that's the third prong.
Cool. So let me reach the last question, and that's a question that I'm asking everyone who comes on the podcast. Can you give us a recommendation, some sort of a life hack, a great book that you read recently, or a movie?
A movie, a book,
or a life hack. Or a life hack.
Go ahead. Or a life hack.
One is enough.
My life at the moment, my life is focused on Ahoy my entire life. But I've watched Top Gun, the sequel, just recently. Very, very entertaining. Very good movie.
Didn't you feel that it was a little bit, how can I say that?
Risky for an insurance
a little bit more on the science fiction part of how you structure an attack and why not to sell rescue teams and all that stuff. It was a little bit of a Star Wars element. It's like we need to go through a crevice and then go do weird stuff and just nail one missile, no, actually 2 missiles into this air vent. It's like, let's kill a Death Star.
Mm-hmm. So apparently you watched the movie as well, and maybe even ruined it for some.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
But
yes.
But I'm in movies. I come to enjoy. I'm not trying to really make sense out of it, and I'm not so sure that it's so far away from reality. I'm just a naval officer. I'm not an aviator, but I'm not so sure that it's so far from reality.
In that case, go check out Top Gun, Maverick, the sequel. It will see the first movie first because it will touch so much on nostalgia. Absolutely. And I'm still think that we should keep shaving. I don't know about growing a mustache. Maybe different generation. Yeah. Anyway,
that's a good joke.
I'm getting better. It's almost 9 a.m. here.
It's all about the trajectory.
It's trajectory and coffee. So it's almost 9 a.m. here on the West Coast. Thank you very much for joining me from Israel. Which at this time, what is it? It's like 7 p.m.
Now it's almost 7 p.m. Yes. 6:40.
Amit, it was great to talk to you again and to see you again. When is the next time that you are coming to the US?
I'll be at the East Coast the week of July 25th.
Oh, fantastic.
If anybody wants to get
I will just leave the East Coast on the 24th. But I will say, but hopefully I will manage to catch up with Canaan and see at least one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Always welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.